In a rain-soaked neighborhood laundromat, a quiet attendant breaks policy and uses her own laundry card to pay for a young father's wash when his payment fails. The room's tension melts, and small, specific ripples of kindness follow, including a makeshift community fund and unexpected help from regulars and a deli worker. The attendant's hidden burdens, pain in her wrists, a last bus to catch, and a brother waiting on a heated dinner reveal the true cost behind her simple choice. Just a quick note before we begin: hit like, share this with a friend, and subscribe for more. Also, let me know in the comments which country you're watching from. It always amazes me how far these stories travel. The laundromat hums like a tired fridge. The floor shines in spots and scuffs in others. Rain sneaks under the door and makes a thin grey line on the tile. The neon open sign buzzes pink in the window. She stands behind the narrow counter with the key ring that could anchor a boat. People look past her like she is part of the machines. She keeps the place moving. She prints new labels for broken dryers and lines up the lost socks on the ledge like flags. She wears a cheap wrist brace under her sleeve. The Velcro is tired, but it sticks. She lifts wet jeans out of a jam drum with a wide metal hook, rolling her shoulder like it hurts. She knows which washers run hot and which ones lie. She knows who tries to put a blanket in a small drum and then acts surprised when the thing thumps like a bad heart. She lets them be surprised. She wipes the soap dust off the folding tables. She fills the change machine. No one sees her do it, yet they get mad when it runs out. The TV over the soda machine plays a game with no sound. A kid with a mohawk draws with a dull pencil on a flyer someone left. An older man in a blue cap reads the sports section, fingers grey from the newsprint. Two college guys watch videos on a phone with the sound up too high. A woman with a perfect bob haircut stands with a neat white basket and a mouth that looks like a line drawn straight. It smells like detergent and wet metal and someone's cheap perfume that smells like fruit. At 8:47, the door bangs and a man with two small kids rushes in. Rain stripes the backs of their puffy coats. The man carries a black trash bag of clothes that looks like it weighs more than he does. The kids are in pajamas under their coats. One coughs into his sleeve. He looks at the sign that says last wash 9:0 p.m. in a cheerful font that lies about how strict it is. He looks at her. She says, "You're good," because she is not the kind of person who sends kids back out into rain. The card reader flashes red. He taps again. Red. He turns his card over like words on the back will change anything. One college guy sighs loud so everyone hears it. The woman with the neat basket shifts her weight and looks at the clock. The man pats his pockets like money might grow there. He smiles at his kids in a way that doesn't reach his eyes. "It's okay," he says to them, but his voice sounds like thin ice. He points toward the ATM across the street. 2 minutes, he says. The kids cling to his legs. He looks at her. She knows the rules. No watching children. No letting anyone leave unattended. Cameras watch the counter and the door. The manager likes rules more than people. The manager would like to point at a page in a binder and say, "See." She also knows how you can hold on to rules so tight that they cut your hands. She feels the hot itch under her brace. She hears the rain drill the awning. She hears the quiet cough turn into a wet one. She takes her own blue card off the key ring. It's a staff card that she preloads every week so she can wash her own stuff after close. She swipes it. The number of dollars drops on the small screen. She hits the button and the drum fills and begins to turn. He opens his mouth. She shakes her head. "Just get them warm," she says low. "We'll figure it out later." She finds a paper cup and fills it with warm water from the back. She slides a packet of crackers across the counter that she was saving for her break. "You can plug your phone in here," she says, and points at the outlet under the counter, the one no one is supposed to use. The Velcro pulls at her skin as she moves. Something in the room loosens. The older man in the blue cap folds his paper slow, like not to startle it. The college guys turn their volume down without anyone asking. One of them wipes up a spill he didn't make with the sleeve of his hoodie. The woman with the neat basket takes a breath and stops aiming her eyes like arrows. The kids stop holding their breath. One makes a little mountain of crackers on his sister's napkin and laughs when one slides off like a sled. The man sits down and holds both kids like his arms are a porch. The machines go on with their whir wash rinse like rain on a different roof. He mouths "thank you," like he's afraid to say it out loud. He tries to hand her his card again with a face that says, "Please let this work this time." She nods toward the washers, toward the small movements of normal life. "Next time, she says, and it is not a threat and not a promise, just a simple place to set the moment down. She checks the clock. She knows she will miss the 9:30 bus if she stays past the dry cycle. She knows the manager checks the time cards. She keeps sweeping like work is a spell that keeps questions away. She texts, running late. Heat your dinner. She sends it to the number she keeps at the top of her list. The reply comes back, 3 dots. Then nothing, then okay. A picture of a cat wrapped in a blanket follows, because he knows she likes stupid cat pictures when her wrist hurts. She looks at the bus schedule pinned to the corkboard behind the counter and taps her finger on the last route of the night. She looks at her blue card screen and does the math. If she pays for 2 washers and 2 dryers, she will have to carry her own laundry home wet or do it tomorrow. She flexes her hand and the brace snags on her sleeve. She doesn't sigh. She writes the extra 30 minutes on the paper log in her neat block letters and knows the manager will circle it tomorrow with a red pen. The woman with the tidy basket hesitates, then tucks a 10 under the lost and found sign. She does it fast, like no one is allowed to see her be kind. The bill sits there under a paperclip shaped like a star. The woman does not meet her eyes. Later that week, the same woman drops off a Ziploc bag of crayons she says she found in a drawer. They go into the jar with the dull pencil. The woman almost smiles at the kids from across the room like it's a secret she can't carry alone anymore. A week later, the college kids come in with a box of dryer sheets. They slap a note on it that says take a sheet in quick letters. They don't look at her when they set it down by the open folding table. One of them cleans out all the lint traps like it's a new game. He looks surprised at how much clean lint there is. Ha! He says to no one like he just discovered something with a heartbeat. Their phone stays quiet that night. They talk without swearing. They laugh low and it makes the room feel like a blanket. The older man with the newsprint hands writes Neighbors Fund on a paper cup. He uses a thick black marker and writes slow like the words feel heavy. He sets the cup by the register and drops in a handful of quarters with a clink. He nods at her. She doesn't say anything because she knows if she does, she might start. Later, the man with the 2 kids comes back on a Sunday afternoon. He is earlier this time. The kids wear boots and they run in small circles, not too wild. He puts 3 5s and some 1s into the cup. No speech. He taps the counter with 2 fingers and then goes to fold tiny socks like it matters to do it right. The kids wave the crayons at her like trophies. The deli guy starts dropping off muffins at closing. He says the word unsold like it tastes less than okay. His apron is always dusted with flour and the brim of his cap always tilted to the left. He says he was a kid once too, and his mother worked 2 jobs and would not have said yes to free food if anyone had offered. He looks at the floor when he talks so the words can land without noise. She folds him a coffee filter full of nickels and says, "Coffee's on me next door." And he pretends it's a fair trade. Rooms remember how people behaved in them. The hum takes on a shape like a soft chest rise. People start wiping their own spills. Strangers start holding doors with the shoulder when they have a basket in both arms. Thanks becomes a word that doesn't feel expensive to say. It's not a fix. No one grows money. No one stops hurting. But the edge goes down. The line of rain under the door still appears on hard nights. The binder with the rules still lives where the manager can hold it up like a shield. People add a few small things anyway. They make it easier to be a person inside this bright humming box. She clicks off the lights, and the neon sign throws a pink smear on the wet sidewalk. The cup that says Neighbors Fund catches a little glow from the streetlight, like it wants to be a candle. Outside, a moth flutters against the glass, then settles, then tries again. Inside, one last dryer turns soft and steady. In the silver window, cotton socks tumble in a slow circle. Her wrist hurts, in a clean way that feels like work done. She locks the door. She adjusts the strap on her brace. She tucks 2 quarters into the cup and pulls her hood up and steps out into air that smells like rain and bread, and the night feels like it might be gentle if you let it.